It's time for What's Up, Cuz with Coach Lancy Irvin and Jason Palmer, presented by the Chicago Crusader and the SportsZone Chicago.
Good evening and welcome everybody to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my real life cousin, the coach himself, Lancy Irvin. What's up, cuz? How you doing?
What's up, cuz? I'm doing great. I can't complain. I'm just sitting here thinking about my Bears, but time out.
Yeah.
Who are your family coaches at Northwestern or whatever shirt you have on today? I'm just curious.
I am proudly representing Chicago's Big Ten team, Northwestern University, because I attended the Medill School of Journalism summer program at Northwestern University back in the day, and that is how I got my career launched as a journalist after coming out of Medill. So that is why I can proudly represent Northwestern, if that is okay with my big cousin.
You know what? You've been holding back. How the heck I didn't know that? I almost said something else, cuz. So you know what then? Since you have on that Northwestern shirt, we're gonna get Chris Collins on the show.
I'd love to talk to
my man up, tell him you went to Northwestern for journalism school or some program that you said.
That's right.
Get you to talk to Chris Collins. How about that? That's the least I could do for you.
I would love to talk to Chris Collins. I would love to talk to him, man. Yes. Let's get Chris Collins on the show because college basketball season right around the corner. So we need to start talking about some college hoops here. But let's welcome everyone to our show, Lance. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're looking at us on Facebook Live, if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're watching us on that app, which is what we really want you to do, if you're looking at us on the SportsZone Chicago app, welcome to the show. And remember, you can download that app from Amazon. You can get it on Google Play. You can get it on iTunes. Download the app so you can have access not just to our show, but all the wonderful shows we have on the SportsZone Chicago network. And also, Maya ain't here. So that means we get to act a fool tonight and say all sorts of stuff. Don't have to worry about her popping up out of the blue like a Halloween ghost.
I'm still calling Maya out. Because I guess went to a Big Ten school. That's why she really didn't want to get on the show tonight, because she knew our next guest played at a school that she couldn't compete with. They could compete with. I'm going to leave that alone, though, but that's why she didn't get on the show. See, she got nervous when she heard somebody from Michigan State that played at Michigan State and coached at Michigan State might be on our show. Maya, you know where to find me, Maya. I'm still calling you out.
Well, that's why I'm wearing a Northwestern shirt, because I know she ain't here to try to come at me. So I'm not really that brave, but, she ain't here, so I'm doing what I want to do. So I'm wearing me a Northwestern shirt. So, coming up as usual in just a few minutes, we'll have Joseph Phillips on from the Chicago Crusader Newspaper. We got a lot of topics to talk about, including your Bears, who are now 5-1 somehow. I don't know how it happened, but they are 5-1. So we're going to talk about the Bears today. We got a lot to talk about, man. We got a World Series that's going to be coming up, the Dodgers and the Rays. So we got that to talk about. We got just so much stuff to talk about on tonight's show. And we got guests. Did you know that? We got guests tonight.
What guests? Who do we have? Have tonight?
Joining us to talk some college hoops is the head coach of Northern Illinois University. He's a good friend of yours. Mark Montgomery is going to come on at 6:30.
Oh, that's my man. Monty dressed up. Monty stopped wearing ties, though. I'm going to have to talk to Monty about that.
He stopped wearing ties? Is there a reason why he stopped wearing ties?
We're going to ask him when he come on the show.
Okay.
When he gets on the show.
That'll work. And then coming up at 7:30, hopefully, if her kid's computer works better than hers from what she told me, and she can get a connection, is your sister-in-law, part of the Irvin family coaching clan, Corey Irvin from St. Xavier University. She's going to join us at 7:30, and she's going to talk about what's going on in women's college basketball in her level. And, this is her second year over there at St. Xavier. So we going to have some family members come on the show at 7:30. So, we turned up.
Hey, Jay, that's the only family member I refuse to talk about. She gets a pass. Everyone else in the family I talk about. Corey and Irvin, no. I leave Corey alone. Corey brings that heat. When you come with Corey, she brings heat back. So I'm gonna leave her alone.
And Corey taller than us. So that's another good reason to leave cousin Corey alone. But she's gonna join us on the show as well. And remember, you can be interactive with the show. Go ahead and leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube, and I will go through the comments. We'll try to post them. We want you all to be a part of it. And by the way, do me a favor. If you're going to post some comments, let us know where you're from. We got people watching this show from all over the world, believe it or not. And the show continues to grow. It continues to pick up steam. And we got a lot of people in the military. And thank you for serving our country who are watching the shows overseas, and just people from all around the country who are Chicago natives and want to hear our perspective on sports. So we want to thank them for tuning into the show as well, Lance. Doesn't that sound good to you?
Man, it sounds great to me, Jay. We appreciate everyone spending time with us on this Monday, tuning in to watch the show. And I can't remember what I just did, Jay, but I hit something wrong. So let me get back for those that's leaving me comments. So, I'm going to turn this over to my wife, Paula, CJ. I normally have Brooklyn Irvin helping me, but right now I didn't pay her enough. So she told me she's not doing it anymore. My wife over there, Paula, is sitting there like, I'm not helping you today, dude. Why is she turning around giving me the funny look?
Oh, no, man. I don't know. You better act right, man. She been tanked our little show here because you acting silly.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to leave her alone because she's talking about me too. Just because she went to Whitney Young, I'm not scared of her either, though.
All right. You talking stuff. All right. So let's get ready. Let's get ready to bring on our boy. He is the sports editor for the Chicago Crusader Newspaper. You can check out his work online at www.chicagocrusader. Let me redo that. www.chicagocrusader.com. Ms. Dorothy Lavelle is their publisher, and we are doing this show in conjunction with the Chicago Crusader. So let's bring on that sports editor, our guy. What's he wearing? It could be sweater time. Joseph Phillips.
What's up? What's up, cuz?
What's up, cuz? How are you, sir?
I'm doing blessed today. How you fellas doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Oh, you got your sweater game on today. Okay.
It's a little cool out there. It's fall time, getting ready to go back an hour in a week or two. So he's coming with the sweater heat.
Yes, sir. I'm a November baby, man. You gotta be prepared with the sweaters, man. Especially with the fall coming in.
Well, Joseph, many of our viewers were concerned a couple of weeks ago and told me to ask you, did you ever put a damn battery in your fire alarm?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You hear that sound back there? Pretty quiet, right? Yeah, that wasn't on me, man. That happened because we moved into a new place, but I guess the engineers never replaced the battery in the fire alarm. But you won't know if you don't cook. So at least I can say this, hey, I got a wife that can cook now, I ain't got to eat Roman noodles no more. So God bless to that.
I was going to say, please clean that up. Please clean it up. I'm not touching that one, but I'm glad you cleaned it up, cuz.
Oh, yeah, I got it, brother. Trust me, man. I ain't going to say nothing crazy on there. Trust me.
I hear you. Well, Joseph, we got you here. Let's talk a little bit about the big sport news in Chicago. The Bears win again. They defeat the Carolina Panthers yesterday by a touchdown. Their record is now 5-1 on the season. What did you think about the Bears' victory yesterday?
Oh, man. First of all, congratulations. Victory Monday. Bears, one thing I can say, they've been consistently inconsistent when it comes to just putting out the same product every week. You see a few bonehead mistakes. You see the typical bad play calling by Matt Nagy. I'm actually glad that Nick Foles is actually starting to go into the no-huddle offense. He's giving them more command of the offense, which takes a lot of the play calling out of Matt Nagy's hands. In addition to that, the defense is starting to come together. They're starting to build chemistry. And in addition to that, hey, we're 5-1. I have no complaints. Super Bowl, Super Bears. let's keep this thing rolling, baby. Keep the gravy train. And then on top of that, Tampa Bay beat down the Green Bay Packers on a Sunday night. So that was just like the cherry on top, bro.
Joseph, Jason, I got to step in, Joseph. So are you trying to say Matt Nagy play calling sucks? Is that what
I ain't trying to say it does. Like, come on, y'all. This is no secret.
He just was the whiz kid 2 years ago, right? Everybody was screaming, Matt Nagy, oh, he's an excellent play caller. So you saying take it out of his hands?
Yeah, actually, that's what's happening. They're slowly taking out his hands by default. Like, he's realizing that some of the plays that he calls is above his britches. And even Nick Foles had to get on him last Thursday. He was like, look, man, you slowing up the offense. You're giving the defense a chance to set up. If I got a rhythm going, let me go. Let me flow. And the better I flow, the better you let me go, guess what's going to happen? It's going to make you look good as a coach. It's just like a coach having a great player on his team, and you trying to, like, tell him, listen here, when you get the ball, I want you to dribble right, dribble left, dribble. They looking at you like, man, I'm averaging 30 a game. Give me the ball and let me do what I do. Matter of fact, it's like Michael Jordan told Doug Collins, take a drink of water. I got you, man. Your lips are dry. Wipe the white stuff off.
I want to hear what Cousin has to say about his play calling.
I think you hit it on the nail on the head. 2 years ago, he was a whiz kid play caller, and I think he still called the same damn plays from 2 years ago. Everybody in the league know what he gonna do, and he need to come up with some new plays. That's what I think.
Right.
But
hey, Jason,
go ahead. Is it his fault they can't run?
Hey,
Their
Jason,
running game been bad.
Yes, it is his fault. He brought in another offensive line coach this year. Am I right, Joseph? He brought in a brand new offensive line coach this year to, quote unquote, fix the running game. The running game has not been fixed. David Montgomery, who fights for his life, is basically just able to get 2 yards because he doesn't have no holes.
He's depreciating. He's depreciating. He went from averaging 3.7 yards per carry to 3.1 yards per carry as of yesterday, which I mentioned in my story that I wrote about this week. And then in addition to that, we got this blocking scheme where it's really not the offensive line that's blocking. We drafted Cole Kmet to be a catching tight end. Now we got him on the offensive line blocking. And it's kind of like, wait up, brother. Well, let's not forget why we brought him here. And then that's why he caught his first touchdown yesterday, because he actually got him off the line and into the playbook.
I mean, finally, I don't like questioning coaches because I'm a coach. That's why I turned it over to you guys. But I do agree with this. I know at some point in time, in the words of Mike Irvin and Nick Irvin, if I have that dude, I'm getting out the way.
That's right.
And you just need to figure it out. No, but I think the play calling can be a little stale from time to time. I mean, and I'm pulling for them. And we sitting here 5-1. I think the defense been doing an excellent job. So, I mean, the offense need to pick it up again.
I agree. And we're going to talk about the Bears later o'clock in, I believe, the 7 o'clock hour. We're going to go into even more detail. But, hey, they're 5-1. You know, I'm glad they're 5-1 and not 1-5. Even though we'd have a lot more to talk about, they're 1-5, but you know they're 5-1. So you know it's good for the city when the Bears win. Everybody's a little bit more calm, and you know I'm real happy. What else we got going on here, Joseph? We got a World Series coming up, starting tomorrow. The Los Angeles Dodgers and my guy Mookie is going to take on the Tampa Bay Rays, and their superstar is nobody because they're just a real old good team.
Wow. This reminds me of the 2003 Florida Marlins, man. You know, like they coming in, you throw the ball down the middle, it's trouble, you know, from top to bottom. And they are a force to be reckoned with. They got a lot of the St. Louis Cardinals top prospects on the team. I just realized that actually a lot of those guys are supposed to be in like the future of the Cardinals farm system. And now they're in the Tampa Bay system, wrecking havoc along with their starting pitching. And then in addition to that, I'm really glad that they eliminated the Houston Astros, the biggest cheaters in baseball history besides the Chicago.
Here we go again.
But
time out. What did the Houston Astros do?
They cheated, man.
What does that mean?
That mean they cheated and got a ring. That's what that means.
Is it an asterisk in the book?
Next to it, just
Fellas,
like LeBron James.
Is it an asterisk by their name?
Yes.
Yes.
They should have stripped them of all their wins and everything else. They made them
I
get
agree.
their rings back. So
I
now
agree.
you give them the asterisk, but they still have their hardware. They still have their banners waving the center field.
And they still got their money.
And they said, JC, you just
I love it. That must be Ivan in the back. I love it.
Of course it
I
is.
like that.
That's my man Ivan.
I
My
didn't
man
mean
50 grand.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Joseph, but I feel some type of way. We calling them cheaters. They still walked away, like Jason said. They still have their rings. They still have their pennant. They still have money in their pockets. Asterisk, that means nothing to me. That means they won the championship until you strip people of the money, their pennant, everything else. They still champs.
Yeah, but they wasn't the champs last year, so we don't care. My bottom line is this: don't talk trash like you've been dominating the game and you've been cheating all along. They tried to talk trash to the Cubs, and they said some low down, dirty stuff to us, talking about, well, we're not gonna do like the Cubs did and go to the next year and lose, and like, you guys cheated to get there in the first place. So why are y'all talking trash to us? We did it fair and square. We took it all the way to Game 7 to the very last out in the 10th inning with a rain delay. So don't go there with us without the buckets and the drums or the rally monkey.
Right. Well, I mean, they're definitely not the champion in the public's view. They may be Major League Baseball champions, but the public is unforgiving. And I will say this about this Houston Astros team this year: they got extremely lucky that there was COVID and that there were no fans at these games,
right?
Because they was about to catch that business all year. Every city they went into, they were going to be booed unmercifully. And I really don't think they would have done as well as they had there been fans in the stand, because all that negative vitriol coming your way constantly everywhere you go, man, that would have had to warn that team down, man. And I like Dusty Baker. I think he's a cool brother. And he went in there into that situation from a baseball standpoint. I thought what the Astros did was pretty impressive. You were down 3-0 and came all the way back to push it to a Game 7, and was one game away from getting into the World Series. So I will give them props for that. But, there's a stain on all of those guys, man. And including the manager, A.J. Hinch, who possibly could be the next manager of the White Sox. And, if he is, then that is when I will go into we must forgive people for this.
Right. What you say, forgive and forget.
Yeah, that's right, man. We all deserve a second chance.
Yeah, I forgive the Astros. As long as they're at home chilling, watching the game with us, I'm all good. But at the end of the day, I looked at Jose Altuve numbers, and I was like, wait up, this man hit 18 home runs in 55 games. He knew what was coming. The littlest dude in the ballpark knew what was coming. So what I'm saying is that even their numbers are kind of fluff, and that's unfortunate. But one thing that happened that I'm glad didn't happen was that they didn't meet the Dodgers in the World Series, because there would have been a fight going on. I promise you.
Hey, now I'm not advocating for people to cheat, so I don't want nobody out there saying that.
Thanks,
but with that being said, if I'm on the Dodgers, I would have. Well, I'm just gonna hold my comment. My fastball back then was really fast, so somebody would have been ducking. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I mean, didn't they play? They played during the regular season, and there was some stuff, So, I mean, if it was on the World Series, I actually don't think they would have done anything a little bit too much on the line. But I do think it would have given the Dodgers a little bit of an extra boost had they known going in that they were playing the Astros. And actually, that leads us to this week's poll question. Remember, our poll question is sponsored by the Chicago Crusader Newspaper. So we do have a new poll question this week. And this week's poll question is very simple. Who's going to win the World Series? Is it going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers, or is it going to be the Tampa Bay Rays? That is our poll question, sponsored by the Chicago Crusader Newspaper. Who you got, Joseph? Tampa Bay or LA?
Well, I'm going with my boy Mookie and them. I think Mookie and them are going to pull it off just because of the way things have happened, with the Astros last season. I believe Tampa Bay is going to make a good series, but I think the Dodgers are going to come out at the end for their 7th world title in their 20th World Series appearance.
Lance, who you got?
I mean, if you guys remember when we first started this show, you guys, I said the Dodgers. I mean, Mookie, my man Cody Bellinger, Clayton Kershaw. Now Clayton got to give me a win in the World Series.
Right.
He does.
Clayton like 1 for 3, 1 for 2 now. So I mean, I'm rolling. But my favorite player on the team, well, he used to be a fireballer, but I'm all for those relief pitchers. My man Kenley Jensen.
Oh yeah.
He used to have the smoke. He used to have that smoke. So hopefully he'd come in and he could do some things. But I'm taking the Dodgers. I mean, Tampa Bay, I think it's going to be a tight series, like you said, though. But I don't hardly know none of their players, though. So we'll see, you know.
I know, like Kevin Kiermaier.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I think baseball cards.
right. I think Tampa Bay is a true definition of a baseball team. You know, you have all those guys pulling on the rope in the same direction, and it's been very impressive with what they've been able to do this year. I'm going to pick the Dodgers. I picked them before the season started, just like you did, Lance. I think we both had the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series. So, you know, the Yankees didn't make it. Tampa Bay was able to knock them out. But, you know, I think the Dodgers is from top to bottom the best team. And I like Dave Roberts. You know, I like that brother, man. I don't want him to lose his job, you know, because there's a lot of talk about, you know, if they don't win it this year, he's out of there. And, you know, when they went down 3-1 to the Braves, I was like, oh, Dave, you might have to start looking, brother. But
Jason, you saw he came out, he was like, this is the year, you know, like last night. He's like, this is the year. You better be, brother.
Yeah. So I was very happy for Dave Roberts. You know, not a lot of brothers managing in Major League Baseball, and to have Dusty and Dave Roberts have their teams in the league championship series, that was really impressive. And I hope he can pull it through. I think he's got the team to do it. I love Mookie best, just like you do, Cousin Lance.
Man, I love Mookie.
I think the talent is going to be too much for Tampa Bay. I've got the Dodgers winning in 6 games.
Got him in 6?
I got him in 6. What you got him in?
I can't disagree with you. I take him in 6. I mean, Tampa Bay, I think they solid, but I got the Dodgers in 6. I mean, I couldn't bet on the Dodgers not winning. You know, I think game 1 and 2 we'll see now, but they also playing in Texas, correct?
Correct. They are playing in Texas. They're playing in Arlington at the new stadium down there, and there will be some fans there because, you know, Texas is ignoring COVID. They ain't wearing no masks, so it don't surprise me that they're going to have fans in the stands. But, you know, it's what it is.
It's 2 hot climate teams right there, man. They're not afraid of the hot weather. They play beautiful in hot weather, so yeah.
Yeah, and this one is a retractable dome too, I think, Joe. I think this new one they built is a retractable dome because of that Texas heat. The previous one was an open air stadium, but I think, you know, they were like, hey, man, let's put a roof on this thing. It's an air conditioner. It's 100 up in here. So I think that's what they decided to go. Yeah, there it is. That's a good job, Ivan. That is the new one. Some $200 billion stadium they probably built in Texas. But you can see it is a beautiful facility. So that'll be very nice. So how many games do you think the Dodgers are going to beat them in, Joe?
I'm gonna go game 7. I'm going to give Tampa Bay Rays a chance because the simple fact that nobody's respecting them, even us, you know, like we're like, you know, we kind of overlooking them, but we really don't know. They're like an enigma. They're like an unknown. Like we don't know. The Dodgers, I don't even think the Dodgers face Tampa Bay this year. Like we don't know what they're going to do against them. You never know. You know, it might be upset city, especially the way the year 2020 has gone.
That's true.
You don't know. So while the Dodgers are riding that high horse, you know, Tampa Bay probably looking to be giant killers right now. They're probably looking to say, hey, you know what? We're not afraid of Kershaw. We're not afraid of any of you guys. We're not afraid of you Hollywood boys.
Yeah.
We're from the swamps of Tampa Bay, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, what makes this thing so amazing, my wife and I last night, we watched Moneyball. That was our Sunday night movie that we watched. And, you know, I think about the Tampa Bay Rays. They're the 28th. Their payroll is 28th in the league. Wow. And the Dodgers is 2nd. So, you know, that's the thing I love about baseball. You can spend a lot of money, but you can't really buy a championship. Because if that was the case, the Yankees would win absolutely every year, and they don't. You know, baseball is a little bit different animal. I think basketball, you can easily influence if you get the absolute best players more times than not, you're going to win the title. But in baseball, man, in baseball and hockey, them the two ones where you'll never know what's going to happen. And just because you got the highest payroll doesn't mean you're going to win. But before we let Joseph get out of here, we need to give everybody the results of our poll question from last week. And boy, what a question we asked.
That question was fire last week. That was fire.
So last week, our poll question, I was going to help me out. Last week, we asked the question, which Chicago athlete is stealing checks from their team? And the winner was Chris Bryant of the Chicago Cubs. He got 38% of the vote. Mitch Trubisky of the Bears got 31% of the vote. For second place, there was a tie for third between Cristiano Feliciano of the Bulls and Edwin Encarnacion of the White Sox. And hey, I like this. Last place, nobody voted for Brent Seabrook of the Blackhawks, which I think Brent is stealing money, but I also think he's just old. And it ain't his fault that the general manager gave him a 45-year contract.
Hey, this poll is biased, man.
Biased towards what? You know, Joseph.
White Sox bias, Coach.
Joseph, you know KB stole this shit. Stole with the capital S. 18 million to hit 196, 156. And I like KB. Don't get me wrong, but he stole if you're talking about this shit. Come on, Joseph, admit it.
38 million. I'm sorry, 38%. You know that's White Sox Nation. Come on, man.
It can't really be because actually I didn't vote for him. I actually voted for Edwin Encarnacion. I actually voted for the guy from the White Sox. I thought his $12 million was a waste of money because they didn't even play him in the most important game of the year against Oakland in that last game. He wasn't even in the lineup. So
that's really stealing money right there.
Yeah, that's still money. I agree.
Bryant earned a World Series and the MVP and Rookie of the Year, and then y'all gonna take a shot at him like that? Come on, y'all.
Hey man, the people have spoken, Joseph. What you want me to do?
You know, Joseph, like my father used to tell us, what have you done for me lately?
Oh man, that's true. I guess that's the motto for journalism. You only as good as your last story. Yeah.
That's right. Well, Joseph, thank you for joining us. Tell everybody once again where they can check out your work.
Feel free to visit us at the ChicagoCrusader.com. This week, I'll be doing a story on the Dodgers advancing in Game 7 past the Atlanta Braves going into the World Series. Also, the Chicago Bears beating the Carolina Panthers. And last but not least, the Bears bringing on Lamar Miller and his background as a former Pro Bowl running back.
All right, sounds good. Check everybody out. Thanks, Joseph, for joining us. Coming up next, the head coach of the Northern Illinois University Huskies, Mark Montgomery, coming up right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz? I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lancy Irvin. And he is so happy his Bears are 5-1. They're in first place in the Central, or the NFC North, I'm sorry. Man, I couldn't believe it. They pulled it out there, man.
Hey, I tell you what, Jay. Akeem Hicks been stepping his game up. My man, Mac. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Cal Fuller's a bad man out there.
He is.
Cal Fuller's a bad man. So, they stay away from Fuller out there now. So, I mean, I think, Jay, if we can get the running game going a little bit, I mean, I think we'll be that much better. But with that being said, you have to be able to run the ball. You and I talk about that often. What's your thought on my Bears, Jay?
I think, I'm going to have more thoughts on them at 7 o'clock, but I think,
I'm going to leave you alone.
I think right now they're doing it with smoke and mirrors. And eventually, somebody going to pull back the curtain and see who the real Wizard of Oz is behind that curtain. But I think for now, you go ahead and you get your wins. A win is a win. You and Coach Montgomery know that. A win is a win. And, they have taken advantage of the mistakes made by other teams, and I ain't mad at them. No. But I give them a lot of credit, man. They beat the Buccaneers and Brady, man. So, they do have talent. They got a squad. I wish they'd play better. But, season ain't even halfway done yet. We just hope they get better. But let's talk about a subject I know you want to talk about now, man. We're going to get into some college basketball, some college hoops talk, man.
Hey, you know what? You see how excited I was when I jumped on the show today. Plus, I knew one of my good friends was on the show also too today, and I was just going to let you pepper him with all the questions because I do them the same way.
No, I ain't going to pepper him with all the questions. This is your field of expertise. What you trying to throw out people?
I'm going to sit back and enjoy the ride because you went to Northwestern.
No. This is on you, bro. I take the lead in hockey talk. So let's bring him on. He is currently the head coach at Northern Illinois University. Join us from DeKalb, the head coach of the Huskies, Mark Montgomery. Coach, how you doing? Welcome to What's Up, Cuz?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I'm excited. I'm not on that Chicago air that too often, per se.
You know what, Monty? First, I'm happy to have you on. Let everybody know Mark Montgomery is a dear friend of mine. Love him to death. He's been helping me since I first sat down at Chicago State. So appreciate you being on the show, Monty. But just to let people know how versed you are in other sports. Now, my Bears 5-1. And people might think you're a football guy. I think I know you're a football guy. What's your favorite NFL football team? Now, remember what state you're coaching in now, so think hard before you answer this.
Now, first of all, I'm more college football. But I can roll with the NFL. And if, I'm from Detroit and I don't roll with the Lions,
I'll blame you.
The Lions disappoint you every year. And I got to roll with Pittsburgh. I got to roll with a winner. That's Mike Tomlin and the boys. I know the Bears are having a great year, strictly because of defense, because I don't know what that offense is. But Pittsburgh is a more complete team with Mike Tomlin and that crew we got, in Pittsburgh.
Okay, so he going with Steeler Nation. Now, to the coach's defense, Pittsburgh Steelers, man, they got fans in every state, all over the place, man. And the Steeler Nation rolled deep. So I can understand how he picking them. And I love Mike Tomlin as a coach, so I'm not mad at it.
I think we all love Tomlin. But now, you just said you're a college football man too, huh? What's your college football team now? Michigan listening to you now, so think hard about that question too.
No, it's not hard because I don't know if everyone in that area know I went to college at Michigan State. So I always roll with the Spartan Dogs from Michigan State. But other than that, it's hard not right now to, like Alabama and like Clemson and like Ohio State and them top dog teams. But in state, it gotta be us. It gotta be we the only one that's always in the bowl game. I guess Illinois showed up last year and Northwestern. Now we talking. Northwestern is competitive, but in state college football, if you look at they do that thing in the nation in the West. It seems like it's always the Husky Dogs, and we get started in 2 weeks. We got Buffalo coming to our place and 6-match game, so it's going to be fun.
Well, you know what? I gotta give Coach credit, Lance. He ain't lying about that. Northern Illinois is consistently in a bowl game, and I mean, it was a few years ago they made it all the way to the Orange Bowl, and everybody's like, "How the heck they get to the Orange Bowl?" Hey, man, they had a good season. They had to pick one of them kind of teams from a smaller conference, and Northern Illinois deserved it. So I agree with you. They are the most consistent college football team we have in the state of Illinois, Coach.
I appreciate that. Way to give us our love. And Thomas Hammock, former player, he going to have us rolling again here in 2021 or how many games we get to play. With this COVID, you never know.
Monty, just, let's talk about, as everyone knows, that official practice started on last Wednesday. Talk to me about how your team has been dealing with COVID. Like, it's different coaching this year because of practicing COVID. Talk to us about how your team has been dealing with COVID, and from a coaching standpoint, what adjustments have you had to make?
Well, first of all, you have to have great patience, because it seemed like we've been on again, off again, on again, off again, starting from this summer. And you have to make adjustments on guys that's can practice, and then some guys can't practice. Safety protocols are the most important. But what I try to tell the guys is, when you're doing something that you passion and you have love for, that's the distraction from all this other craziness that's going on, not just with COVID, but some of this social injustice stuff. But I think our guys come in locked in. We're lifting 3 or 4 times a week, trying to get our conditioning back. Now we're practicing. The calendar, the NCAA calendar is crazy, because at first we start with 8 hours. Then we went to 12 hours, and then we went to 20 hours. So how we had to adjust? We went from 8 hours to missing 2.5, almost 3 weeks because of COVID and a few negative positive tests, to 20 hours. So now it's, I told our guys, we got to be all in, no excuses. We tip off on the 25th. No one's going to ask, who was positive, how many days you missed. So you got to play. And we got to find, you only got to put, great thing about basketball, you only have to put 5 on the court and maybe have a couple subs if guys is winded. But we'll be ready to play when it's time.
You know what, Monty, that was a great way to put it. And I was telling my cousin Jason, it's different coaching this year, right? Because you really don't know what to expect. And I think we all creatures of habit, but it's different. Like, you don't know whether you're going to have this 5 at practice. You might have a different 5 at practice. And with that being said, this will be the toughest year I think you and I both had to coach. From a team standpoint, what can we expect out of the Huskies this year?
Well, I always say one thing that travels with us is our defense and our toughness. I was one of those guys that, wasn't the most skilled players, but it doesn't take much skill to make sure you guard someone, keep someone in front of you, and rebound the basketball. So our defense and rebounding will definitely be our strong suit. And then we have found enough baskets or enough points per se to be competitive on the offensive end. As long as we're taking care of the ball, sharing the ball, getting some ball movement, I think we could be successful.
Once again, we're joined by Mark Montgomery of Northern Illinois University. He is the head coach of the men's basketball team. Lance, you got a question for Coach?
Yeah, Jay, the man won almost 20 games last year, and he's sitting there talking about we'll find a way to put the ball in the basket. Stop it. This is me you talking to, Monty. Stop it.
Hey, I'm keeping it real. Like, I've had a 2,000-point score graduate.
I'm glad he left. Because I play you this year.
Well, I got to get Lance. Like, he's the only team in the city to play us. Obviously, we have UIC. Thank God that they want to play us this year. We love to play more teams in the city, if that's Loyola, if that's DePaul, if that's Northwestern, whoever else is up that way. But when you had Eugene German, I never really worried about offense because that guy could get a basket versus anyone, So, but we're a little different team. We're transitioning. Thanks, Lance, for plugging us last year. We actually won the MAC West. I'm in my office right now, and this is what we're playing again this year. And we had some unfinished business because we didn't get to play in our tournament. Finally, the first time since, I don't know, they said 15 plus years that we had a automatic, bye to the conference tournament. and we're going to play Miami, which was I think the 12th seed. So we had a good chance to get to the semifinals. But you know what? New year, new time. It's still going to be exciting. We just have to, as I say to my staff and my family, we just want to play games.
Right.
To know with this COVID situation, but the great thing for college sports in general, especially for men's and women's basketball, no matter what, they're going to get that year back.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to take advantage of this year. We're not saying, hey, we taking a year off and getting our feet wet. Hey, it doesn't matter if I'm playing checkers, chess, Monopoly, backgammon, pool. We want to win, and we want to get our name on the map. So we have to continue what we've done for the last couple of years.
Sure.
And very, very competitive.
Well, let me ask you about that too, Coach Montgomery, because, first of all, let me give all the credit in the world to Chicago State University President Scott. She was the absolute first NCAA president when this COVID thing broke out, who said, my coaches and my athletes are too important. They're not going to play in that conference tournament. And, I got the news and I was shocked. And I was like, wow, is this an overreaction? What's going on here? And then, as the days and the weeks kept going, we found out President Scott was the smartest person in the room. So I want to give her credit for having that foresight and protecting her athletes and her coaches. For you, Coach Montgomery, as we go back to February when this whole thing started kicking out, how did you find out that you guys were not going to be playing anymore and that the season was basically done? And how did you and your players cope with that news?
That's a good question. We're actually at the MAC tournament. We got up. We had an 8 o'clock shoot-around time. We got up. We did a shoot-around. We came back. We're getting ready for the pregame meal because I think we were like the 2 o'clock game, and actually our AD came in and said that looked like they're going to shut us down. So at first we think we're going to get shut down. Let's poll the players and see if they want to play because we're going to shut down all fans. So our guys wanted to play. And then within, 15, 20 minutes, I think the Big Ten got shut down. And then another major conference got shut down. Now, literally, we had to call our guys back from from their rooms. And some of our guys are already dressed, ready to go to the game. And just imagine those seniors. At the time, we had Eugene German, Lacey James, Noah McCarty, and giving them that news. And I really felt for the guys, that those opportunities don't get to come every year. It's something you work for, and then you can just see the disappointment in their face. And then you're not in coaching mode anymore. You're more in a counseling role. Hey, you know what? You've done unbelievable things, and just try to get them to really calm down because I thought they was going ready to riot. That I think we was on the floor. They were so upset. But, I just felt for the players. So then after all of a sudden, now you got to readjust. You want to get them home. You want to get them safe. We're in the bus within the next hour and a half, and now we're driving home, and you can just see the disappointment. And it's almost like we lost the game because you could hear it was silence on the bus. That was a tough moment for our guys, especially.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Monty, it's all tough and going into a new year. You and I talked the other day about scheduling. Talk to us about scheduling, how scheduling might be different this year than it has been over the past 15 and 20 years.
Well, all of a sudden NCAA comes out with the rule any game before November 25th is null and void. But then at the same time, your conference is saying you don't know when you're starting conference play, and they're thinking about adding games, or you don't know the format. Like our format is usually 2 games a week. Are they going to change it to 2 games Friday, Saturday, and play the same opponent? You're hearing all these different things. And at the same time, the big boys decided. When I say the Power 5, if it's the Big 10, the Big 12, the Big East. So now you have to wait what they want to do. And then now all of a sudden, at a school like ours and, Chicago State, money matters. So you need some of the money games to help your budget, to help your travel. So it seems like everything is getting put on hold. But at the same time, you have to schedule, like in our conference, we're playing 20 league games. So all you could play is 25 games. So now we need to get 5 games. But now if you're dealing with someone else, like we were saying, Lance, in your conference, you guys play 16. So you need some more. Now someone else is playing 22. They only need 3. So at the same time, you're trying to get some home games. But at the other times, other guys is trying to get some home games. And then the whole, if you go out of state and have to worry about quarantining when you get back. So I wanted to play all Illinois teams. It would have just been easier. We didn't have to worry about because everyone's under the same protocol. But everybody in this state is not willing to do that. Everybody has different agendas. So, you know, it's a tug of war type thing. You got to have patience. It's a lot of phone calls have to be made. It's not between, I think it'd be easier if it was just between the head coaches. Hey, let's play. Let's get I don't care. If I got to play down Chicago State and play DePaul there and UIC there, it's one trip. And then they come down here for a couple of games. It ain't that easy. You know, you put the administrators in there and then you put the money people in there. So it's a big headache. And I just can't wait till we get to the game. As long as I got a couple games in, I'm good to go. Because I always tell my team, that is a tune-up for conference. And then we can play. You know, that's when it really starts.
Yeah.
Hey, up until I was telling Lance, we thought we were starting January 2nd. And then last week they said we got to move our last game from March to sometime in between December. So imagine that mess.
Yeah. I can only imagine what you all are dealing with. Just the whole scheduling conflict. It's got to be all over the place. And, you know, I myself am a referee. I do college volleyball. I've actually been out to NIU a lot. I love the coach out there. I love that brother.
Yeah, right. Good.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And, you know, I opted out, you know, this year, even though we're going to be going in the spring. Some conferences are going, but I decided to opt out. And I said, well, I'll do it, you know, next fall, you know. But, you know, I guess my question is, for me, I know why I opted out. And when I talked to Lance about it, I was like, you know, Lance, you know, I know you're a leukemia survivor, and, you know, what precautions are you going to take going in this? Because my main concern was my cousin, you know, to hell with basketball. You know, my cousin has beat leukemia once, and I need him to keep beating that. And I don't need him to be in situations, you know, where he's going to be, you know, at risk. So that was my first concern. But I also know everyone is making their own choice. What did you think about, Coach Montgomery, when you all found out that there would be a season that you would be playing? What protocols or steps are your family concerned about with you going out there and coaching?
Well, it's always a family concern. All I can do is mask up, social distance, and you know, I'm just at the office and I'm back. You know, it's not eating at restaurants. You know, you go into let's just say get some groceries and you go home. It's real simple for me because I got 2 and I got a wife. Now with the team, you know, you have those conversations with your team. The mask importance is we know what we're doing tonight. What you're doing has to be very important. Now, when the whole COVID, are we having a season? Are we not having a season? I was hoping that college basketball would say, hey, let's play conference games only in January to let this second wave get through. That's my take. And I thought we took a strong stance in the MAC conference in football at first. We was the first to say we're not playing. The Big Ten followed suit, and then the Pac-12. But what happens is, and everyone knows it, it's so much money involved with the TV, so much money involved in other revenues for especially NCAA basketball. They pushed it up. So now we're playing in November. So, you know, you have to play with the cards that's dealt. I was hoping more of a let's, you know, push it back. But we got to play in November. Let's be smart. I'm just glad that NIU, we're under the testing protocols. We test every week. And then once November hits, we're already going to be in the 3 to 4 testing, surveillance testing daily. So I think we have a good protocol. If something does come down with it, we shut down. So I don't know what we're going to do going forward when games start, but we're going to definitely test 3 to 4 times a week to keep our players safe.
And let me ask you this, Coach, because you hit it. And, you know, What's Up, Cuz, we have very real conversations because we're talking to our community. We're talking basically to the Black community. And a lot of people have serious concerns. We know COVID has really disproportionately hit our community harder than other communities. We also know that basketball, especially here in the Chicago area, is the king sport. And everyone wants to play, everyone wants to see games, but everyone is kind of nervous as well. So let me ask you just about the testing itself that you all are doing at Northern, because every school is doing it different, and not every school has got the same amount of money to do this stuff. Mm-hmm. So just tell me, for you, your experience with the testing. How does the testing take place? What is it with the results? How quickly do you get those results back? And how are your players adjusting to basically this new kind of norm where they're going to be getting tested every single day?
Right now, the test has it's worked its course, because when we first got tested, when we first got back in June, it seemed like it took 5 days. Now we got tested last Thursday. I got my results back on Friday, less than 24 hours. We have health services right here on campus. Mm-hmm. You go in the morning, they do the whole, I call it the brain test, because that's what it feels like when it touches up there.
Right.
And you feel miserable for half the day. But we have a good medical staff here. And I know we have football too. Like Chicago State doesn't have football. So we have the, I don't know the proper word for it, but the swab testing. Mm-hmm. Their people have set up in our football in our academic building. So they're getting tested daily. Their first game is in 2 weeks. And it's like you're in pairs with someone else. Then all of a sudden you do the swab. It's the same thing that the Major League Baseball and NFL is doing. All of a sudden, it kind of happened down in Alabama. Coach Saban tested positive. Then he tested again 3 straight days, and then it came out negative. We're doing that test here for football, and of course we do it for basketball. So that kind of helps. And then the county too has, like you say about the money. The county has put up money for NIU athletics, and that helps when you have the county doing their part, and we have Northwest Medicine doing their part. So that's helping.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that. And I appreciate that, because I think, people keep hearing about, you're getting tested, but nobody actually knows what the test is unless you've been tested yourself. And the truth of the matter is most of the country has not actually, had to go through the test. And I know that the test has kind of developed it. It's kind of developed based off of some of my friends who I've talked to. It kind of reminds me of, Mark, you just turned 50 in April. I turned 50 a couple weeks ago. Lance is over 50. But I kind of remember, like, back in the day when we all had to take the HIV test, and you go take the test, and then you had to wait like a week, and you were like, oh, Lord, what have I done? What have I been doing lately? But, now the test is involved, and they can do the swab, and you can find out kind of instantly, and I do encourage people to get the HIV test as well. Thank God I'm faithfully married now. But, that testing, you're talking about 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old guys. How are they really kind of handling this whole process? Because this is not what they thought going into college they were going to have to do it all.
No, because college, and we said you have to have those talks with your team. College is social. They want to get out. They want to flex. They want to go out, beating people, engaging, hanging out a little bit. And now all that's taken away. So now it's, the NBA helped with their bubble. The big thing at Northern and a lot of other schools is we're online right now. Yes, we're hybrid with a few classes, but it's like the campus is shut down. So that's helping things. I think it helps that they have a sport. It's something that we can rally together. Two, and then, you just throw the science at them, and then you just throw the facts that you have to take this serious. Because when it first came out, they just thought, and just like us, we thought it was just the older people coming down with it and get sick, or if you was a diabetic, or if you was in this, or you're, whatever it is. But now, no, this COVID, this virus has, anybody's name is on it. Mm-hmm. If you're not careful and you're not social distancing, like you have to have a mask when you come in the building. You got a mask when we're lifting weights. We're already saying get carry out. DeKalb is shut down right now where you can't eat in a restaurant. We shouldn't be eating in restaurants anyway. We get everything to go because we want to play this season. And then all of a sudden, once what happened here, I think it was 2 players that caught it, we shut down for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't want our players to feel maybe they did everything right. And you know, you don't really know how you could catch it. Maybe they didn't. But I know it woke up a lot of other people, especially on our team, in our staff, where we take it serious.
Definitely. I remember talking to you, Monty, after the George Floyd incident, and you had several African Americans on your team. Talk to me about how they felt after that. And as a coach, what steps did you take to talk to them, make them feel aware of different situations? Because I know when I had to talk to my team, it was tough. But with that being said, I think you and I owed it to them to talk to them about it. So talk to me about that.
You know, once I think anything within the country, you want them to be aware. You know, everyone's not on Twitter. You know, my big thing on Twitter is CNN because you can get everything. But I try to date myself back to them when I was 18 to 22. You know, when I first got to college, I probably didn't vote for 2 years. Now we're stressing voting. And now, you know, but what the whole social injustice, the Floyd situation brought conversation to have these things happen to you. Or if they haven't, they happen to myself, I'm going to share my stories. I'm going to share my experiences. And then not to overreact, but be a part of something. We had a unity walk last week on campus. We had, I don't know, about 300 some student athletes out there. And then it brought up different things. We had the Black Lives Movement thing where we put it down on campus and we helped paint it. And then we had another thing, the sit down thing, or the kneel thing with the Floyd, that, 9 seconds is a long time. So, we just want our guys to be social aware. Don't overreact, but at the same time, be knowledgeable that unfortunately, these things do happen in this country. Mm-hmm. I'm already saying that they think we are per se a threat. I think that's the word that we used or they use, and I'm saying they're a threat to us. Well, we should be quite opposite.
Right.
So you know what? Just be respectful. You know what? Do what they say. Right now at this time, make sure you're in pairs, and then we bring up different things and share different stories. Because it's funny, because last week I had the conversation that a lot of their parents are younger. And if you don't have grandparents to tell you about, like when I was in Detroit, the riots, and things that happened. My parents, like you say, I am 50. There's 20, 25 when I was young. It ain't much different from it was 1965 that we finally got a chance to vote. So let's exercise it. That's not that long ago.
Right.
Them is like ancient. But we're just sharing these stories, sharing experiences, and making sure we learn from it and taking the cause for the right reason. Like if you're on social media, retweet the right stuff.
Right.
Get knowledge about the right stuff. Ask the right questions, and then we can get you some answers, and we can get you a little more knowledgeable.
Right.
You know what, Monty?
Coach, we're going to take a commercial break. Is it okay? Can you stay with us? Can you stay with us a little bit for the next segment?
I got all night.
Give us a couple of more minutes because I got something for you, Monty.
Yeah. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back with Mark Montgomery on What's Up, Cuz.
You see me.
You hear me.
Respect me.
Respect. due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others.
We don't have to agree, but I deserve to be heard. I stand my ground. Respect me.
We don't have to be friends, but I deserve your civility. I stand my ground. Respect me.
You don't have to understand my culture, but I deserve to be authentically myself. I stand my ground. Respect me.
I stand in defiance of your need to make me less in order for you to feel adequate.
I stand.
I stand aware that the America that you see and love today is a result of my free labor.
I stand.
I stand knowing that the contempt you have for me was not instigated by me, but perpetuated by the fear you have of me.
I stand.
I stand surviving your many attempts to emasculate me. Indeed, I thrive despite it.
I stand realizing that you take many things from me, but I will not allow you to take my respect.
I am a man.
I am a proud man.
I am a proud black man.
I am authentically, undisputedly, unapologetically a proud black man.
I am authentically, undisputedly, unapologetically a proud black man.
I am authentically, undisputably, unapologetically a proud black man.
Respect me.
I have done more than enough to deserve it, and still you withhold it.
The bill is past due.
You owe me.
Respect me.
Respect me.
Respect me.
Welcome back to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin Lance Irvin. We're joined by our guest, Martin Montgomery, the head coach of Northern Illinois University Husky basketball. Update score from the NFL. Kansas City, 26, Buffalo 17. They've been playing a little bit earlier today. Just like Coach Montgomery said earlier, everybody's schedule was haywire with COVID. So, we all got to be flexible as we keep going here. Coach, I wanted to ask you a little bit about something you talked about. I've always had this idea in my head that I believe the governor of Illinois should make all the state universities play each other in kind of like a tournament. I think it would be good for the state. I think it's good for the universities. We have so many D1 universities here for basketball, men's and women's. And up to a few years ago, I remember, because it was all over the news, none of our teams had qualified for the NCAA tournament, and none of them were in the NIT either. And I thought that was a really sad state for our basketball in this state, because all the top players in the country, most of them come from this state, and we didn't get a team in the tournament. I thought it was pretty ridiculous. So my idea is that, I think there should be a tournament where we have Western and Eastern and Illinois State and you guys and Chicago State and UIC. I think everybody needs to be playing everybody in this one big tournament. We can give you all a call, the Governor's Cup, whatever Pritzker want to call it. I don't care. But I just think it does good for everyone. What are your thoughts on that? Because I know you mentioned you'd like to play more teams within kind of the state and in the Chicago area here.
Well, no doubt about it. I think it'll help everyone in state, not just for cost, more visibility, because all of a sudden you're getting your fans. All of a sudden if we're playing, it just fall or Northwestern, Illinois, Bradley, Illinois State. I know everyone's trying to schedule differently. I pose a challenge to, since I've been here, since we're Northern, to try to play Southern, Western, Eastern, and rotate that. Like I told Lance I think it was a week ago, when we talked daily. I said, just for us to get more visibility in the Chicago area, that we have to play teams up there, but they have to be willing. And when I first got here, this is going on my year 10. We were playing Loyola, we were playing DePaul, we were playing UIC. And then what happens is as we start getting better, now they don't want to play you.
You better have said the truth. Go ahead.
This is what's up, keeping it real. Hey,
I will real on what's up, cuz. Go ahead.
What's up? You know what I mean? That it only helps the state. Like I said, I'm from Michigan, coached at Michigan State 10 years. We played Eastern, Western, UAD, Oakland. We kept it in state. We kept the money in state. But we also play teams out of state. So we wanted more. Me and Lance going to keep it going from northern to Chicago State. But at the same time, we're not ducking anybody. We had Western on the schedule, Western Illinois, but it was going to be the second game. So COVID hit. We had rescheduled them. But I would love to play. To be fair, I would love to play all in-state schools.
You know what, Monty? Let's be fair there. So basically, you telling me when you first got the job, Jason, you know your cousin is a great instigator, and you my man, Monty. So when you first got the job, I imagine the phone calls went to ringing, like mine went to ringing, and they still ringing, but I'm going to stop all that. I'm not going to curse. I'm going to stop all that soon. So you telling me some of these guys around here don't want to play you?
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, we always reach out to everybody in state because it's going to save $1. We're only a bus ride away.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we want to keep it, in state? And and it has to be fair. If we were playing a home and home when I first got here, and maybe some other teams have elevated their programs, but I figured I've elevated mine here. A 2-for-1? I mean, what? A 3-for-1? No, I think, Jason, you said it. Wait a minute. A couple years ago, nobody was in the tournament.
That's right.
Yeah, now we're taking 2s and 3s for 1.
That's right.
Home and home. I'm okay with a neutral court. We can play where the Bulls play. You could play out here at the Sears Centers. Call it. We play anywhere.
Yep.
And we're not ducking anybody. And you know that, Lance. I mean, our motto at state was anytime, any place, anywhere. I figured we could do that in state.
I was just about to say that. I remember I was coaching at Loyola for Larry Farmer, right? So I saw Coach Izzo. And I said, hey, look, Coach Farmer Jason, he kept nudging me. He said, Coach, it'll sure be nice to fill this Gentile Center.
I remember
So he said, do you know Izzo? I said, yeah, that's my man. He said, I need you to go over there and talk to him and see if you can get us a game. So I said, Coach, why you want? I said, okay. I said, hey, Coach, we really need a game. We trying to pack the arena. Y'all had like Jason Rich and mine. I can't remember if you was coaching the state that time.
No, I wasn't there yet, but I saw that game.
They had like Jay Rich, Charlie Bell, Andre Hudson, and all them. So I said, hey, Coach Farmer, you sure you want to play them? So I said, hey, Coach Is, you know what? Can you do us a favor? Can you play us? He said, you know what, Lance, man? We play everybody. And because you asked me and I think I can help you, we gonna play. He said, now you got to come back to play us at my place next year, but we'll play you. I said, okay, cool. Sometimes people dodge games if we keeping it real because they don't want Northern to beat them and they say it looks bad. Well, with that being said, if your team is as good as they say they are, strap them up and play.
No,
Let's just go ahead and play. Man, Jay, I don't dodge you, nobody. Them same schools calling me, I'm going to say like Monty. Now, when I start beating you, keep calling me. Because one thing Monty and I said, we going to keep playing each other. It makes sense for us to play each other. Eastern, Western, Loyola, DePaul, Bradley. Why not play?
Right.
Especially now with COVID going on, play.
It's funny, Lance, because last year we in our home opener, we had Northern Iowa here. So I still have to return the game. But the phone call went out to Loyola, who's in the Valley, Illinois State, Bradley, and Southern. So all those teams got the phone call before I had to go out of state. Since I've been here, it's been now Northern Iowa, Indiana State, Evansville. I think that we should be able to play, and it should be a home-and-home situation with those other teams that we mentioned. And hopefully, can the governor get it done? I think you know what.
His universities, man. That's my whole thing. I'm like, they're your universities, Governor Pritzker. You can tell them to do whatever they want. Because if University of Miami can play Florida A&M in football every year, and University of Florida can play Bethune-Cookman,
no doubt,
and they do it because the governor of Florida said, no, y'all gonna play these HBCUs because this helps their athletic department financially when they come and play these games. Now, the HBCUs don't beat them, but they win the battle of the bands, doggone it. I know that.
I love that. But you know what? They don't have to go all the way to the governor's office. I think the presidents can get connected. I think the ADs and administrators can get connected and try to figure something out. Now, if it can't happen every year, nothing wrong with it every other, or how we have to do it to, bring basketball back in this state, how it should be brought back.
Yeah, I just think it would just really invigorate the fan base to all of our state universities as well and really create a huge atmosphere. And, we have the arenas, like you said, we got Wintrust, we got the Sears Center, you got the United Center, we got the Horizon, we got all sorts of facilities out here. So I'd love to see that. I know we're running a little short on time, so I want to get some more of these questions in. I have a lot of parents who are watching this show for both of you coaches. And I know because of COVID, you couldn't do your summer camps, which I know is kind of a big thing for both of you guys, and you can also help the young players build their skills. So what advice do both of you all have for young high school players who are trying to build their skills, and they're trying to do it during this COVID kind of climate?
Go ahead, Monty.
This is a tough time, and especially because college athletes are going to get this year back, and a lot of schools aren't even in session right now, but you can always do something at home. You can still dribble that basketball. I remember many a days I was in that basement pounding that ball. You go outside, you find space. And one thing I know about this state, in the city, is a gym open somewhere, and AAU is still being played. But it goes back to the things when none of the coaches is watching. Kids always think they're going to build their skill on they got to play games, they got to play games, they got to play games. You have to practice. You have to practice if you want to be a better shooter, dribbler, passer. Work on your skill, you will get seen. And then if you're at a high school age, send out a tape. We do have email. We do evaluate tapes. Have your coach reach out to us. We will return the phone call. I can tell you one thing, at Northern, we definitely will do that.
I think, Jay, kind of like Monty said, it's always room for us to grow. And it's always space, I think Monty said. Like, how hard is it to dribble in a basement? How hard is it to walk down the street dribbling? How hard is it to just form shoot, working on your game? And I think you can run, you could jump rope, you could do sit-ups, you could do push-ups, but you need to work on your game every day. And some people don't take it serious enough. Like, this is a serious business. You should always be doing something. And even when it comes to coaching, Monty, I know people always asking me, what do I need to do to be a college coach? What can I do? What can I do? Man, it's about networking. It's about learning your craft. It's about getting good at something. So I think there's always something we could do to get better. Like I was telling my team the other day, Jay, I was like, guys get better when they practice. So now you telling me you want to shoot. Well, I don't see you working on your shot. So why should I let you shoot? Work on it. Same thing we doing now, Jay. You work on your podcast. You ask questions. And one thing I want to ask you, Monty, is this. Let me say this. Excuse my little cousin down there. He comes on the show with you. You the head coach at Northern Illinois, and he's sitting there with a Northwestern T-shirt. Tell that man how many times you went to Michigan State how many times you went to the Final Four as a coach at Michigan State and as a player. He just disrespected you on our show, Monty.
No, he
Excuse me, Monty. Yes, he did. But he go sit there with that Northwestern shirt.
In the Wildcats, it's a good educational school. Now, I always go back and say this. When I was there as an assistant, I think we were 29-1. They got us one time. The true story. What I used to love about coming and playing Northwestern, doesn't matter if it was a player or I coached. When we went to, what was the name of the arena up there?
Welch Ryan.
We had more green and white. I like green, white, green. We always thought it was a home game. It's like our second.
Hell, man, y'all have more fans than everybody that you played. Where you coached the state.
For sure at Northwestern, though. We got a lot of alums, and they used to come out because they know we was gonna put on a show.
Hey man, they was studying, man. We gotta work on Wall Street or whatever. They got time to be watching us lose. You gotta be studying.
Y'all brutal. Just Monty, please, Monty, forgive my cousin. I'm gonna give him one of your ties you gave me. I'm gonna give him a green and white tie. So when he come on the air next time, he'll wear a green tie. Monty.
I'm on one better, Lance. I'm gonna send you one of these shirts, right? You know what? The Huskies are in Chicago. I'm gonna send you one, Jason. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna watching this.
Well, I wear a large, so make sure you send him a large. Make sure you send him a large.
Oh, y'all killing me with them larges. Large. I'm gonna send you one though.
Hey, Lance told me to ask you about ties. There's something he told me to ask you about your fashion and ties, and you're not wearing them anymore. Is something going on with you and ties?
Done with it. I'm done with it. You know what? As Izzo say, I wear my you know what? On the whole thing of I have to be relaxed. I have to be myself. I like to move around in ties. No. You know what? And you know, I think who used to be Bobby Knight and Huggins and them had their little pullovers, and that's where we kind of rocking up here. A polo shirt, and the suit don't make you. You know what I mean? The suit don't make you. And I'm a little more relaxed that way. Not that I'm not intense, but my tie day is over. I don't even wear them. Not against basketball games. I don't even wear them to weddings no more. New jacket and a button-down shirt, and that's it.
Hey, Jay, Monty called me one day because he always following us, right? He said, man, I just saw you on the sideline. He said, did you get hot over there? The time was choking you? He was like, relax a little bit. I said, Monty, I'm not established yet. So I tell you, Jay, when we played them, he came out with his pullover on. I came out with my pullover on. He was like, don't you feel better? I said, ask me that when the game over.
One heck of a game. Two coaches, one at it. And it's not about – they got to figure it out in football. They got to figure it out. The managers got to figure it out in baseball. They got their little outfit on, or football get the how they wear. I got a game on in the background. Hey, college basketball, it's a whole different.
I feel you on that, Coach Mark. I mean, when I coached basketball, I only wore a tie in championship games.
Right.
We were in a tournament. It was a tournament championship game. I'd wear a tie. State tournament, championship game, if I got there, not that dumb third place game, I'd wear a tie. But if it's not that, I'm with you. I'm wearing a polo shirt. But
hey, Jace, I got to add one thing. I'm superstitious. And we went to the tournament, and all of a sudden I came out with my tie and all this, and we got down, I'm changing. I'm changing.
Rip that sucker off in the middle of the game.
The jacket come off anyway.
There you go.
Hey, wait, cuz Kenny McReynolds just hit me up. You know my Facebook Live acting funny, Monty. We're going to have to post the feed on my face. So Kenny McReynolds just sent me a text. Tell Coach Monty I'm waiting on my shirt, too.
What he went a double or triple? What do you want?
No, Kenny McReynolds. Kenny McReynolds. So you need to, I'm going to tell Kenny McReynolds to invite you on this show.
There you go.
Has Kenny Mac had you on the show yet, Monty?
No, I haven't. Hey, y'all exclusive. Y'all got me live first.
Good. Kenny Mac, he's not coming on your show.
Well, let me ask both of you this question, because things are going to be definitely different this season. And attire is one thing. Your behavior on the sideline is going to have to change. You guys are going to have to wear masks. My fellow referees out there, we don't like y'all talking to us no damn way. But now, y'all masked up, so that's even better. So now I can't hear half of the stuff you complain about. But the little box, y'all gonna have to respect the culture box now because of the COVID rules, and they're gonna come down on you. So I'm gonna ask both of you, because I know you both.
I'm taking this first, Marty. I'm taking this first. Go ahead, Jay.
How are you gonna coach in these new COVID rules where we're gonna be extremely restrictive of you guys and keep you in your little boxes and put you in masks?
Hey, Jay, well, first of all, I told Monty the other day, I said, Monty, man, my wife bought me this face shield, so let me try the face shield. So I put the face shield on, right? And I tried to talk. Stuff all over everywhere. I couldn't talk. Coaching box. I'm not paying that coaching box no mind. I'm going to take my mask down. No, seriously, no. It's going to be interesting. We're going to have to stay safe and socially distance, but I still been working on my vocal cords now. The players can still hear me through my mask, and I'm wearing the face shield. Are you trying the face shield, Coach Monty?
No, you know what? No, that thing gonna steam up and all that. That ain't I get the mask. You know what I do, Lance? True. I always have one mask, on, of course. Keep one in my pocket. Once that thing get wet, I just switch it out.
You didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me that trick.
I'm switching them out. And then it's funny because my barber now, his wife does some things on that sewing machine. She's making mine a little longer in the ears. It seems like the mask always
it's a little tight.
Yeah. Mine gonna be longer. I'm gonna keep the mask on, but it's funny, Jason. You brought up those officials. They already got rabbit ears.
Yeah.
So, and if the arenas aren't packed, because right now it's family only, it's gonna be interesting.
Yes, it is.
But we'll be respectful. I only usually get one tea a year.
I got the feeling the technical files in college basketball gonna go through the roof this year. That is my prediction. The techs are gonna go through the roof. Everybody gonna be frustrated because it's COVID. Everybody gonna be able to hear what everybody's saying. It's gonna be hilarious.
It should be interesting. But like you said about the dress, I think it'll be a lot more polos and pullovers and different things. Especially if you're not on TV. But you got to do what's best for your team and yourself. So that's how I had on that. But we're definitely going to have that mask on.
So, Monty, are you wearing Cole Haans or are you wearing Adidas this year? So, speak up.
No, we are Adidas schools. We are Adidas schools, but I strictly wear Cole Haans on the sideline. They are very, very comfortable. My family is comfort first, always. Wife will say, "Man, what I like?" Well, whatever you comfortable with, because that's how I'm rolling.
So Monty, last thing, just joking. But what's our wager on the game? Are we betting wine this year, or what's our wager?
Hey, you give me something. Well, we came back, but you know what? I think a dinner's for families.
We'll talk offline about that. We'll talk offline about that.
Dinner's for the family, and it's gonna be Chicago. We'll come up that way because we like the little city.
I like that, and because I'm a team player, we're gonna throw little cousin in. Just we gonna have him wear a shirt. He'll wear the winning team shirt. How about that?
I like that. But next week, trust me when I say, Jay, that thing is gonna be UPS or whatever next day to Lancy Irvin, and it will be a large.
I appreciate that, and I will proudly wear the colors. I try to support all the local schools, and I will proudly wear that shirt as well, and all the matching masks. Well, Coach, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on. This was a really good time, and I wish you the best of luck this season. But again, please be safe out there. And I know it's going to be a very fluid season for all of you guys. And I've been talking to Lance a lot about make sure he's on top of the safety protocols. And I know the referees, we're having a bunch of safety protocols, and I laugh about you guys trying to yell at us in your mask. We trying to blow whistles with mask on and pushing some button. They got an electronic whistle. So it's going to be all sorts of stuff going on here. A whole bunch of adjustments for everybody. But just thank you so much, and best of luck to you going forward here in the season. I'll look forward to the shirt as well.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it, Monty.
All right. Mark McGovern, everybody from Northern Illinois University. Boy, you guys are nuts, man. And, I ain't gonna lie, man, this is why people chose to tune in to What's Up Cuz. They want to see you talk a lot of basketball. They want to see our family talk about the sport, that is giving us our livelihoods. They want to hear about basketball on all sorts of levels, high school, college, and pro. And, our family, we have the connections to reach out to guys like Mark Montgomery and Tom Izzo, who I know he's going to come on the show probably here pretty soon as well. We want to talk basketball. We have to talk about things. There's so much stuff going on in this country right now. That sports is a kind of an escape for us, but we got a lot of stuff, serious issues going on. But join us for these 2 hours. We can talk about some serious stuff too, but it's also going to be an escape for you all. And I wanted to mention that next week, once Maya comes back, she'll be back next week. We're doing a special show. And I guess I can kind of announce, well, I can't really announce it all, but we're going to try to be doing a show remote, which means that either Lance or I, or maybe both of us, won't be in our homes. We'll be out somewhere. But we're going to hold off on the time and place until all the connections and every contracts are signed and all that good stuff. But we got some stuff we're doing to try to get the show out there more to you all directly in the community. So just wanted to kind of let you all know about that. Also, next week, there's a Bears game on Monday Night Football. The Bears are playing Monday night next week. So we're moving the show up an hour. We're going to start it at 5 o'clock, and we're going to go to about 6 or 6:15, and we're going to lead into one of our shows on the network. Ivan, why don't you pop on real quick before we go to our next commercial break? So Ivan, for those of you who don't know, well, he's been hosting the Barely pregame show, which comes on before the Bears game. And he and his guys sit around and chop up the Bears and talk about it. They also talk about it at halftime, and then they do an after show as well. So we're going to be the lead-in to his show next Monday to try to give you guys a little bit of sense of the family we have here at SportsZone Chicago. So we're going to be the lead-in for Ivan's show next week, right, Ivan?
Yeah, that's right. Be the lead-in for the Barely pregame show. And then after the Barely pregame show is about 30 minutes, and then we go into my personal podcast, which is the Basement Monsters game day podcast, which is we just cover every single game in the NFL. We hit the Bears. My buddy's a Bucs fan, so we hit his game. We hit all the games around the league. We break down everything that we see. We pretty much have majority of the games up, so we're watching. So we're watching with everybody else as we're breaking down the action.
Hey, Ivan, did you happen to glance at that Tampa Bay Buccaneers Packers game?
Glance, I stared. I was watching that wire to wire, and I was happy. I was happy as soon as they started scoring points because it was 10-0. So I wasn't so happy at first. I was a little worried, but the Bucs did us a solid after we took one from them.
So in my Stephen A. Smith voice, he's a bad man, but he was regular yesterday.
He was pedestrian. He was confused. I've never seen Aaron Rodgers be so confused out there. He had no answer. He had no answer for the Bucs.
He had none. I mean, Jay, I'm sitting there. I sat down for about 20 minutes, Jay. I was like, that's a bad man. I'm telling Bricky. Aaron Rodgers, they had so much pressure on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers looked regular yesterday.
He did.
I wanted to ask you about that. I didn't know if it was just me or was it the Bucs? Go ahead, Jay.
Well, me living in Wisconsin, I loved it. I'm still flying my Bears flag. I usually only fly on the game day and then I take it down. But since Green Bay got pounded as bad as they did, the Bears won. I flew it today too. So once I get off the show, I'm gonna take it down for the HOA trying to find me some money. So if it was a Packer flag, they probably wouldn't bother me. But it's the Bears flag, so right. I don't want to push my luck, and then my wife be mad at me. But thanks again, Ivan. So remember, next week we're going to start at 5 o'clock. We'll be the lead-in for the Barely pregame show that Ivan hosts. So we're going to take one more commercial break, and then I'm bringing my cousin on to the show. And we're going to talk women's hoops because here on What's Up, Cuz, we believe in pubbing everybody. I don't care the gender. And me and Corey are on the same page with that women's basketball needs more coverage in the Chicago area. We're going to talk about that and some other stuff with the St. Xavier University head coach, Corey Irvin, coming up after this commercial break.
Compassion, noun. Sympathetic pity and concern for the sufferings or misfortunes of others. We're all born with it. It's in us. Don't believe me? When you hear a baby cry, something pulls at you. You want to ease that pain. You want to soothe that hurt. No one had to teach you that. It's called compassion, and it's in you. However, at some point you turned it off when it came to me. Me.
The cries of my soul have gone unheard, but today, you will hear me.
My heart has wailed a melody loud enough to shatter your ears and you ignored me. But this week, you will hear me.
This body has beat the drums of anguish, only to be silenced. But this month, you will hear me.
This year,
this decade,
this century,
I will be heard. And
you will be the one to hear me.
And when I am finally heard,
show compassion.
Show compassion.
Show compassion.
Remember, it's in you.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lancy Irvin. We have Mark Montgomery on for Northern Illinois University. Once again, we thank Coach Mark for joining us. And we're going to keep this thing going. We're going to keep this college basketball theme going. The season is coming up upon us. And we're going to bring on our family member. We're going to bring on your sister-in-law and my cousin, the wonderful head coach of St. Xavier University women's basketball team, Coach Corey Irvin. What's up, cuz? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me? Because I'm trying something new. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. Thank you so much for joining us.
Dang, we appreciate you jumping on, Corrine.
No problem.
You know what? I want to ask you this. How does it feel to be the Coach K of women's basketball in the Irvin family?
Well, you know, all basketball in the Irvin family involves a lot of people. It involves a lot of advice and a lot of expectations. I'll say that.
So is that good or bad? I'm putting you on the spot because we on What's Up, cuz. We keep it real. Is that good or bad?
It can be good and bad. Good and bad. I know it helps with the competition because I'm always trying to beat Nick, you, Mike, my own brother. So I guess it's good because it drives me to be a little bit more competitive.
You see, Laz, that's why I got my church championship trophies and winning my championships, and then I got out the business and I went to reffing.
It's a lot of expectations.
Yes, it is.
Corey is not only a good coach, but she's a good person. And Corey is one of the people that I actually talk to quite often about life skills, Corey. And I know it's been a tough year this year, but talk to us about how COVID has been affecting you, how you prepare for your upcoming season, and how maybe it's affecting your team on a day-to-day basis.
Wow. So we made, I mean, obviously it was different in the spring because I was really looking forward to the spring as an opportunity to do more one-on-one work with the players. So having lost that, we came back this fall trying to like pack everything in real quick. Obviously, like everybody, it's no different really from anybody else. The team did a really good job of following what we asked them to do in the summer, though. So I felt like a lot of them came back in pretty good shape. But right now, we are actually shut down. We just got shut down today, and we've been very careful, very careful. I mean, you know how I am, Lance. I mean, we've been really, really careful and just, you know, people like it just happens, I guess, naturally with just one person. And so we're shut down to at least the 31st right now.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's really bad timing because the 31st was our first game.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
oh,
we've been practicing. We started practice. We've been practicing almost 4 weeks. So, and I really felt like we were starting to, kind of gel. We're going to put in some more stuff this week, but we're going to take a step back.
So Corey, so they shut you guys down as a 14 days, as a 10? Because some people.
Well, it's 14 days for the ones who tested negative and 10 for the ones who tested positive. But before the ones that tested positive can come back, they got to pass some certain heart, like an EKG and some other test. So I think it'll pretty much be 14 days for everybody by the time it's all said and done.
Wow. Talking about hitting close to home, man. I mean, it's just, just in our family, and we talk a little bit about our family. We lost aunt to COVID,
Right.
So the Irvin family, we're taking this very seriously, so, it doesn't matter the age of the person, anybody tests positive for this COVID. It's rough. It's a rough virus to deal with. And Corey, I want to ask you, because, even before we get to this upcoming season, last year was your first year over there, and you all were really rolling. You were really, really rolling. And, I was trying to come see you up in Deerfield when you played in Trinity, and something happened that night, the weather, something, I couldn't get out there. And I was like, okay, I'll catch you in the playoffs. And then boom, the playoffs never happened for you all. You were rolling. What was it like for you last year when your season just abruptly ended, and what kind of was that talk you had with your seniors?
It was hard because I thought we lost in the championship game for conference, and I thought we needed that loss. And we actually there was a week in between the championship game and the day we left to go to the Nationals. And I felt that week was probably our best week of practice for the entire year. So I was really confident going into Nationals when we first went to Nebraska, and we got there on Monday, and we were there for 4 days before we even played, just for how Nationals works for us. But I really felt good going into the game, and then we were walking onto the court when they canceled it. So initially it was there was so much shock. Our first conversation, I couldn't even have the conversation. I had to have the AD come in because it was I was in such shock of what happened. And one of the seniors last year, Maddie, she was 1 3-pointer away from breaking the NAIA record. And she actually was leading all levels last year for the most threes made. So it was just knowing that she was about to break that record. She would have hit 1 3. You know what I mean? She didn't go a whole season and not hit a 3. And just that we had 2 seniors who had been starting for 4 years and 2 seniors who had done a lot for the program. So we had 4 seniors. When we first got back into the locker room, I didn't even know what to say. I was I had never, sometimes you prepare speeches. If you lose, you always prepare for what am I going to ask and this and that. Or what am I going to say if this happens? I didn't have anything. In Iowa, where we were in Nebraska, you didn't even know COVID existed. People were everything was going on. The news didn't exist. So I actually had to have our AD come in first and kind of talk to them because I didn't even know really what was going on. And there were a lot of tears when she left. We were just all in shock. I didn't even have a follow-up conversation until we got back to the hotel and I could even process what happened. And then we weren't even able to have a banquet. So everything's pushed to kind of this year for them. But I really felt bad for our seniors because I really felt they kind of graduated with the taste they could have, what could we have done? And then, you don't know.
Yeah, and I'll just ask a quick follow-up to that. So, you had that heartbreak last year. Now here you are getting ready to start the season, and now you're shut down again. And I feel you because there's nothing in the coach's playbook. You don't have speeches for this stuff. We're all just kind of going with this with the flow. So, what do you how do you go now? What is it going to be like playing with no fans? Have you even thought about that?
Yeah, the playing with no fans, we definitely have thought about. And we've been back and forth even about, I'm telling you, I've been so careful. we were going to play our games with masks on. And today I'm like, so all this stuff we've been doing, we're still shut down. So maybe we don't, maybe we're taking like the wrong approach. Other people are like not being careful at all, and they're not having any cases. And we're over here like with, kid gloves on, like shut down. So it's been a long day. I'll put it like that. Today's been a long day because we've had to deal with like getting everybody tested, and then just dealing with where we are, in the season, and everybody knowing we're about to play. And we've been real anxious to get back to playing. I mean, that's one thing. Everyone who returned kind of felt like we just ended the season like unclosed. So they all kind of had a chip on their shoulder. So these next 2 weeks are going to be interesting. I mean, we're going to have to stay focused in a whole different way. But I think it's basketball. And one thing we've been stressing a lot is that we have to be prepared for anything and still be at our best regardless of the circumstances. So that's what we're going to focus on right now.
I mean, Corey, you guys were doing so much. Can you tell us what all were you guys doing? Because when you and I talked, you was telling me I was doing A, B, C, D, and E. Tell them everything you guys was doing and let everybody know. This is a serious issue.
It is. Besides wearing masks, because I mean we're wearing masks everywhere in the dorms, anywhere they're wearing masks. So working out in masks, we're practicing in masks, and using the disposable mask or washing the mask afterwards. And we're washing everything, like anything that they wear into our facility. They're not so they come in with stuff, they're not leaving with that stuff on. So they're they're giving us that stuff, they're changing. We're cleaning down the locker rooms, the balls, fogging at night. They're cleaning their dorms because they have them in pods. So it's just our team, our team together. And then like they're not really even eating in the cafeteria. They're getting their food to go for the majority of the time. So, and then on top of like even our activities as a team, a lot of them have been on Zoom, even though we can be in person. Anything we do together we're social distanced or we're outside, and we have on our masks. So we've been like really careful. No one can go home and spend the night. Even our local players. So like we've been really trying to be careful with how we keep them. We're screening twice a day. I mean, I don't really know what more we could be doing, to be honest. I guess it happens. I mean, I guess that's the whole thing about it. It could still happen. It still happens.
Right. And I guess, Corey, and here's the thing, you all are a smaller school, you're an NAIA school. We're not talking about a D1 school with a huge, $500 million budget. You're tiny St. Xavier, and you're doing the absolute best you can. And I'm sure everyone over there is doing the same thing. Talk to me a little bit about your first year there last year, what that experience was like for you. Obviously, you were like the biggest news story at St. Xavier last year when they signed you on as coach. So with that came a lot of expectations, and I think you really reached them. But what was the first year like for you there at the NAIA school, St. Xavier?
So it was interesting. I mean, the school was really welcoming when I first started on. The administration, our president, a lot of the staff at the school was really like welcomed me in, and were really helpful with a lot of the stuff. It did take a little bit of time, I think, to get adjusted just to certain things you worry about in college you don't worry about in high school, and vice versa. But I felt like we had a really good support last year. From the beginning of the season to the end of the season, we had more fans from the school. So we had more students at the games. We had more professors and staff at the games. And that was really important because that was one thing that I know that they didn't have a lot of in the past. So that was one thing I was really proud of. And I thought that was because of how hard we played and stuff. And I thought the players did a really good job on campus trying to get more involved. So I think that was good. I thought we ended with as our numbers from attendance standpoint got better as the year went on. So I think that gives us momentum for whenever fans can come back, naturally on campus, or from that perspective. But and then we tried to do some things in the community to kind of get some more involvement. So that was new for me because I live on the south side. But prior to this, last year, everything I've done has always been on the west side or on the near west side. So just kind of building some more relationships in the community was different for me. Like I saw parts of this south side area that I really haven't been to, until then. So that was different too.
Yeah, and let me just ask you a follow-up to that, because I know one of the things you're trying to do is build a culture there and a fan base culture and everything else. And you and I talk a lot about this one particular subject that I'm going to get into, and that's just promoting the women's game. Mm-hmm. And the WNBA made a lot of strides, I thought, this past season with that last bargaining agreement with the players as well. But you and I, kind of take it personally how the Chicago media is treating female sports right now, especially on the high school level, and not giving them the coverage that we think they deserve. Well, we know they deserve it. It's not even think. We know they deserve it. Talk to me a little bit about what you're trying to do to get more publicity, not just around your team at St. Xavier, but for all of women's basketball and all of the women's sports in general.
So I've been trying to do that for the longest time, and not just high school, but just female sports in the Chicago area. I don't think any female sports in the Chicago area are covered, and not even in comparison to New York and LA. We just don't cover it. And every time I bring it up to, say, the newspapers, it's that no one follows it, even though I know that's not true. I think that's what they come to. So one thing that I've tried to do is just to use social media more for all levels. And just kind of almost promoting or self-promoting. Like we try to self-promote our own program. I've talked to even like Cindy with Chicago Public Schools, trying to promote them on their own, using different things like YouTube, Twitter, just everything to kind of do more self-promoting other than just putting more pressure on the Sun-Times and the Tribune, which I do continue to do. And I've had a lot of talks with a lot of people who've talked about, just doing their own like websites or web pages that promote girls sports. And it's unfortunate because I specifically care about basketball, and basketball might be the only sport that actually gets covered in Chicago from a female standpoint. Like when you start talking about other female sports, they're like non-existent. So I always look at it like if basketball is not being covered, we can never expect soccer or softball or volleyball to get covered, because those are already not considered a more prolific sport.
Do you think, Corey, due to the fact I know when I'm watching the women's college game, I'm often seeing men coaching the women's game. Do you think, I know Maine has a young lady that's a men's coach, I know Loyola, Maryland just hired a female coach also. Do you think that'll help get the women's game put out in front a little bit more?
I do. I think more opportunities for women on either side, on the men's side or even on the women's side, does help promote it and does help to get it out there more, for sure.
Yeah, and I'll follow up with what Lance is saying. I know just on the officiating specter, I know Pam Young, who we just wrote a story about in Referee Magazine. Pam Young for years and years fought with the IHSA and other organizations to put female officials on those state championship games when it was a female sport, and some of the male sports. I don't think yet we've had a female do a boys basketball game in IHSA downstate, and I think that's where we need to be pushing this thing, because if they're good enough to work it on the highest level in the NBA and even in the NFL, we have female referees. They're damn sure good enough to do it on the high school level and in the college level as well.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate from a referee standpoint because there are female referees. There might not be a lot, but there are, and a lot of times they're not even given the same opportunities.
That's tough. Even from a coaching standpoint, Corey, how hard was it for you to get the St. Xavier coaching job? Because I thought you should have been one of the coaches that should have got a college job. I'm just being honest. This year you won like 7, 8, 9 state championships. You get a college job and you go like 32-1. I'm sitting there, come on, sis, let's do it. Like, I thought you could have won the national championship this year. Talk about how hard was it for you to get your first college job?
It was hard. I mean, I think there were a couple years when I didn't want to leave high school, but in the years that I did want to leave, I think being a female, being a Black female, kind of worked against me sometimes.
Wow.
And so I think it was hard. I'm not gonna. It's you two. I was shocked I got the St. Xavier job, if I'm gonna be honest, because I did not think I fit the mold of probably the direction that what they were looking for. And then I found out, they were looking for something different than what I expected. But I was really surprised when I got the call for the interview the first time, and when I got the call to come back on campus, I was surprised.
I mean, Corey, like I said, I'm glad you have a job, especially coaching, and you do an excellent job. Talk to me about what you expect out of your team this year also. If you get a chance to play.
I hear my younger cousins.
I hear my nephews. I said hello.
Of course, one had to come in.
To my nephews, we said hello.
By McCoy, they said hello.
Hey, Clapper.
Because he is the noisy one. Okay, say hi and go.
Hey, Clapper.
Close the door. Bye.
Hey, Jay, before it's going to be like 6'7", 6'8", they all going to be about 6'8", 6'9". I'm trying to coach for 15 more years so I can coach one of my nephews.
There you go. Yeah, what are you expecting this year going forward with your team, Corey?
I have the same expectations. I have the same expectations to win conference, win the tournament, go to the national tournament, and be national champions. I mean, we're not changing our expectations. We know it's going to be harder just based off of things like this being shut down at any time, or even our opponents being shut down at any time. And it's going to be harder because our players are going to have less opportunities to go home and be around their family, which I think is going to affect them throughout the course of the season. That kind of isolation is going to be new for a lot of the players on my team. So I know we have different obstacles in their way, but the expectations aren't going to change. And we talk about it every day. We're expecting them to still be at their highest level and their best level all the time, regardless of what's going on around us. So we're still expecting the same thing we expected last year, to be our best team, and hopefully being our best team wins a lot of games.
A couple more minutes here with Coach Corey Irvin from St. Xavier University. For Corey, for you, you spoke about how long it took you to get this college offer for you. And then, people don't understand what all you have to really deal with in addition to coaching. We're trying to get you on the show tonight. You were like, well, I can do 7:30 because I got to cook dinner. So, I think people forget, Corey, she's cooking dinner. She's taking care of her back. She's taking care of all the boys. And now she's trying to win games. How do you do all this and keep your sanity with the household stuff and the coaching stuff?
Well, the quarantine might have me lose my sanity. I spend more time at home than I ever have. That we're spending way more time in our confines of our house than we have since we've been married and with kids. Let's just put it like that. So that's a long time. But luckily, my team we're very family oriented. And they love the boys, so they do come to practices a lot, which definitely eases a lot of my pressure. I think that if I had to separate like my family and coaching completely, I wouldn't be able to do it. So they're really helpful with allowing them, to be at practices, do some of the team activities, and they have them like be involved with certain things. But it is hard at times to be a mom and a coach. But it's the same, be a mom and work. I think it's hard for all women.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Corey, I have to ask you, Corey is a great writer. I don't think people know that. Talk to us about your blog. I know you were blogging.
Mm-hmm.
Put your blog out there for me, Corey. Where can we find your blog?
You can find my blog.
Don't be modest.
You can find my blog at mixedthoughts.org. And I do like writing. I'm working on my book right now, so.
And Cuz got legitimate thoughts on a whole lot of subjects.
I was just gonna say, what was the one you did, Corey, about talking to your kids about some of the social justice issues,
Yes.
some of the social justice thing. That's a must read for everyone. That article right there that you wrote, I'm getting chills talking about it. That was so strong. I don't know if you remember the one I'm talking about, where you mentioned stuff in history. What was the name of that one? And some of that stuff you put in there. That's a must read.
I agree.
Ooh, the name of that one. Oh my God, I can't even remember. That's so bad I can't remember. It probably was.
Just talk about some of the things maybe then.
Well, that one I wrote about just basically what's not taught in schools to my kids. That they need to know, and just the conversations that I'm having with them, just in general about life, about racism, about trying to be better people. But the blog you're talking about is the one where I know I brought up certain things that just aren't taught in schools that I was taught in some schools that other people aren't taught. And just trying to make sure that their education is a little bit better than what it is right now, basically.
You lucky, Corey. It was so heavy. I'm scrolling my phone real quick.
Yeah, I can't even remember the name because it was a while ago. But it was about. I know I had talked about, and actually my mom was the one who was like, I think you should write some truth about some of the stuff that you learned and didn't learn, and that you want your boys to know. And so that's why I went with that topic.
Yeah. Well, Corey, thank you so much for jumping on and joining us here. We got a couple minutes left in the show, but we just want to say thank you and wish you the best of luck here and good health. You know, I hope everyone is safe over there at St. Xavier. You all are staying fluid and staying as safe as you can. I mean, it sounds like y'all got operating room procedures that y'all going through over there. So, you know, if you all can still get positive tests, you know, that's saying a lot. But I know you're trying to do your best over there, and Lance and I are always going to be there to support you and love Mac and the kids, and tell them we said hello. And I don't know if we're going to have a Christmas dinner this year, so I don't know when I'm going to see you.
Hey, Jay, you going to see Corey real soon, because when I get tired of you, guess who's going to sit in my seat? We might as well put something else on our plate. So Corey, I might have something I need to do in a couple of weeks. Get your voice right. Get you some headphones.
Oh, no, I don't have headphones.
Oh, Corey, you got to give me 2 hours.
Now, Lance, you ought to know better. You know, the Bears kicker been injured, and he ain't played all year. And dude about to lose his job because the dude.
That's all right. Corey, throw it back to me. I trust Corey.
Okay.
Corey, in a couple of weeks, you go. And also, Corey, I apologize for your cousin disrespecting you, too. Look at that shirt he has on. Northwestern shirt.
I see. That's okay, though.
See you soon. Thank you for jumping on. Corey over there. All right.
Bye.
So, Lance, this brings us to the end of another great show, man.
Ooh, great show, cuz, man. You did.
We end another great show. These good guests, man, and we get some great topics, cuz.
Great. I mean, we appreciate everyone watching. I apologize to everyone. I couldn't get my Facebook Live posted. Couldn't get it working right, Jay, but we'll post it again, though. And Jay,
that's all right.
Dodgers, you did an excellent job today.
Appreciate it, man.
I see you starting to slim up a little.
I'm starting to lose, baby. I'm still losing more. I'm gonna get these muscles going here, but you know, I'll see you all soon. Next week we're gonna probably be doing something remote, so pay attention to our social media pages. I don't know where we're gonna be, but before I get out of here, I gotta say, happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Sharice. Her birthday is coming up this Wednesday. Like I say, October's the big month. It's your wife, me, my wife. So happy birthday to my sweetie. I love her so much. So she get paid in October, man. She get sweetest day, birthday, wedding anniversary coming up. So she happy right now. But happy birthday to my wife, Sharice. Tell Paula I say hello and kiss Brookie for me, Lance, and I will see you next week, cuz.
Happy birthday, Sharice. I'm going to cash app you something.
Oh, damn. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. What's up, cuz? We'll see you next week. Peace out.